Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to...
Now, Kabesi, I need you to tell us about Erimo Ijesha, for the benefit of those who do not really know about the town, the history, and everything.
Okay. Like I said earlier, Erimo Ijesha was founded on or about 1100 AD by the 3rd and 5th Oni of Ife, Oba Lufon Alayemore. Now, Oba Lufon Alayemore was the son of Oba Lufon Ogbogbojiri, who was also an Oni of Ife, and who lived so long, according to the history, lived for reigned for almost 600 years and did not die and became iron. That's why they called him Ogbogbojiri. That he lived so long, he turned into metal. That was the grandfather of the founder of Erimo. And so, when Oba Lufon became Oni of Ife, his uncle, who was the founder of Oyo, that's Oromiyan, thought he should be the one on the throne, and then came forcefully. So, in order to avert bloodshed, he vacated Ife and was coming with his people. In the course of going, he got tired, and he was trying to encourage them, Erin, like walk, Erin. And then they got to a point, they made some little houses with palm fronts, which is what we call Imo. And that's how the name came, Erin, Imo. That's how the name came. And Erimo, the founder of Erimo is the same founder of Efon Alaye Ekiti, founder of Egbaraoke, founder of so many other towns. Our forefather, he was the first person, was the first king in Yoruba land to wear the beaded crown. The crown that the current Oni can wear now, which is the Adeari. He introduced bead wearing into monarchy. And so in Yoruba land, for you to know who is the king, you see them holding a horse tail and a staff and the crown with beads. That is the one who started it. And he is the one who started the first commercial market in Ife. Before then, the market was a spiritual market, which they refer to in Yoruba as Oja Ejibumekun. But now, he started the commercial market, Oja Eremo, which is why they greet him. When they are greeting, they say, "Any mule toja, moju toja, ofeyin toja, orun wewe wera fomo, any no ano." He was wealthy, has money to give little kids. He is always surrounded by market. That's all it means. Erimo is an agrarian society with a lot of farming community. We have about 11 other villages under Erimo where I installed Bales. And each of these villages are essentially farming community. We are very big in rice farming, extremely big in cocoa farming, and all the other staples like cassava and so on. So this essentially is what Erimo is known for. Erimo is also known to harbor the most potent spiritual mountain in Nigeria, Orioke Erimo, where everybody who have gone to, people who have been former military head of state, they've been there to pray. Several kings have been there before they got installed. So many people have been there to pray, because we believe that the power there was just there. When you climb the mountain and ask for anything, we believe that you will get it as you requested for. So Orioke Erimo is known all over the world as being very spiritually potent. Our people are very friendly. Like I said, I've mentioned several groups of other communities who live with us. Some of them were born there, their parents were born there, and they've lived in Erimo. It's a very peaceful community. We are bounded by Efon Alaye Ekiti, by Jeddah, and by Iwaraja, and then Nerijesha. And Nerijesha is also our sister town. All the other areas migrated from Erimo. Everybody got to Erimo, and on the 17th day, some of them migrated to as far as Erinle in Kwara, and later Erin Osun, and several of the other areas. Essentially, and the first king was Agidoyin Musa. He was the son of Alayemore, and he didn't die. We believe that he entered into the bowel of the ground. And so he told us, whenever there is war, there is a chain there, we can pull it, and he will appear and fight the war for us. And he's still there to be confirmed till now.
I like that. Interesting. Kamis, I'll take 3 more questions so that I can free you. Now, I need you to shed more light on why traditional rulers don't eat outside and why they don't remove their caps, from their heads.
Okay. Secrecy is what maintains the monarchy. So I will tell you a little, but I can't tell you everything. The reason why we don't remove cap in Yoruba land is because we believe that the head is the crown. It is the head that wears the crown, and it must be honored. Everybody cannot just be looking at the head of a king. And so the idea is to honor the head and cover it. But there is a spiritual angle to it. If a king lifts his head open, let's assume a fly touches the head and touches another person's head, the person will probably die of headache. It's dangerous. Real truth. Now, why they don't do it outside? It's also to honor. In Yoruba land, we say, Akirenu Ejimomo. The king is revered. Why should he be sitting down and be eating openly in front of everybody? So it's also to give honor to whom honor is due. And I said that's why the king will only eat in the midst of very close family or associate, not in a public gathering where everybody can be sitting or drinking. He wouldn't do that. So I think that logically we can say it's essentially to honor and to protect the king and the others around him.
Some people have also accused the traditional rulers of giving out chieftaincy titles to people of questionable character just because of money and everything. As a traditional ruler, how would you respond to that allegation?
It's a fact. We've had several traditional rulers doing that. And we have a group, the Yoruba Obas Forum, and I'm an administrator of that group too. We have tried to offer ourselves peer group control. We know this is not good, and so when we see any of our colleagues doing that, they do it. There's no doubt about that. And I think it's also a function of the fact that most of these traditional rulers do not have a means of survival. You understand? They are there on the throne. Somebody cannot pay school fees. It's coming to the king. The king needs to look for money. And so those who can control themselves, who cannot discipline themselves, feel that they have to raise money by any other means. And that's why I said within the traditional council, each state has a traditional council, and they also have within the constituency level, they also have within the local government level, and then we still have this Yoruba Obas Forum up to Kogi State and Kwara State and so on. And so we try to control ourselves whenever we see any of our other colleagues doing this. But maybe what needs to be done going forward is to, on our own, have more like rules and regulations within ourselves. Because if we don't do that, then to get to a state, what happened recently where they were asking them to get up and sit down will still continue to happen. We have to present ourselves in a very honorable way such that people would not see us and disrespect us. You understand? Respect is not demanded. It has to be earned. And so if a king is to be respected, he has to also carry himself with respect. I'm sad to say that if you put a crown on the head of a clown, you do make him a king. So this kingship requires a lot of discipline. And I will say that we need to control ourselves internally before others will now be compelled to tell us we are doing something bad. So I hope that will not continue.
All Kabiyesi's, when they're old, usually join their ancestors. So at the end of your tenure as a Kabiyesi, at the end of your earthly journey, what would you like the people of Erimo Ijesha to remember you for?
I want to be remembered as a king who ruled in the line of God's expectation. I want to be remembered as a king who ruled with integrity. Nothing matters to me more than my integrity. I want to be remembered for that. I want people to be able to point to physical and non-physical infrastructures that I have that came up during my reign. And I want people to remember that I reigned and it was peaceful and I was fair to all concerned, like Europeans always say.
I think Kabiyesi needs to join Rotary.
No, I was a member of Rotary before I left Nigeria many years ago. Before my career took me outside the country. And I realized, frankly speaking, that if we were to adopt the four-way test in our dealings in any position we are, everything is taken care of. You have to be fair to all, you have to breed goodwill and better friendship and so on. We have to. And so when you see people living, raising their personal money and looking for money everywhere to help others, there's nothing that can be compared to that. Service to humanity is the best. So I totally concur.